Today I'm bringing you the story of Halo Reach in 5 minutes. I'll be doing this for each of the Halo games up until the release of Halo Infinite later this year. So the game begins with spoiling that you die at the end. You play as Noble 6, the newest member of the Noble Squad. Meet Noble Team. Consisting of mostly Spartan 3s and a single Spartan 2, you are tasked to investigate a comms outage in the area. And Carter lets you know that he knows more about you than you do, and not to do any of your solo antics. Make your way in town, knock on some doors, you decide to shoot some civilians to show your dominance, and then die immediately. And then you so happen to find that the Covenant are infiltrating the planet. You and your squad make your way to the communications relay and you end up fighting off the Covenant. You end up finding some dead scientists and find a data module on one of them. That immediately takes it from you. You eventually are able to get the data relay online and you're able to get word to Colonel Holland and inform him that the Covenant are on the planet. And he admits defeat immediately.
Again, Noble One, did you say Covenant?
Affirmative. It's the winter contingency.
May God help us all.
Next, you and your team are tasked to defend an Oni building called Sword Base while there is a Covenant ship hovering above it. You kill the Covenant infiltrator around Sword Base, and then you proceed to the surrounding areas. The Covenant ship is shot down by a Mac round from space, and you and your team have a meeting with Catherine Halsey, the creator of the Spartan 2 program. She informs you that the elites that you ran into were after secret Forerunner data, and tells Kat to return the stolen data that she has. And you part ways. Later, you and June infiltrate a Covenant military installation, you plant explosives on a small spire and kill the remaining infiltrate in the area, and find out the Covenant are amassing troops for an invasion. You decide you need to leave to return with a larger army. Noble Team, along with military support, launch an attack on the Covenant army. You destroy some Covenant anti-air devices, and then board a Falcon along with George,
Need a lift, Spartan?
and fly into the shield surrounding the spire, which causes you to crash. You fight until you hijack a Banshee and fly all the way to the top, turn off the shield surrounding the spire. You're picked up in a Falcon, and the UNSC ship shoots a MAC cannon and destroys the spire. And right as it does, a Covenant supercarrier is revealed and destroys the UNSC ship, causing you to evacuate. Later, Kat comes up with a plan to put a slip-space drive on a Covenant supercarrier ship to destroy it. You make your way to the secret Saber launch facility that Kat just so happened to know that you were a test pilot at, and you make your way to the ship. You and George take the Saber into space, you go all-range mode, and you have some dogfights straight out of Star Fox.
Do a barrel roll!
George gets a slip-space drive from the UNSC Savannah, and together you assault the Covenant ship. You board the smaller Covenant ship and take control of it, and set it to redock with the supercarrier ship, and then meet back up with George. You find out the slip-space drive that you brought got damaged and needs to be manually started. So George throws you like a ragdoll out the ship, and you fall back to the planet right as George destroys the ship heroically.
Who are you guys?
We're Starbuck.
You'll never defeat Andros!
And you win! Just kidding. Right as the ship is destroyed, many more Covenant ships arrive at the planet, making his sacrifice basically meaningless. Noble 6 arrives in New Alexandria, and does the solo stuff that Carter said not to do, by helping civilians help escape the planet. Later, Noble 6 joins up with Commander Carter and is directed to help the UNSC forces evacuate the area. Among the evacuated soldiers are ODS Team Alpha 9, led by Gunnery Sergeant Edward Buck. Noble 6 reunites with the rest of Noble Team right as the Covenant begin glassing the city. As they make their way to the shelter, Kat gets sniped by the Covenant and totally goes MIA, never to be seen again. Noble Team's next mission is to destroy the Oni facility, Sword Base, and keep it from the Covenant. You make contact with Dr. Halsey after entering Sword Base, and you find out your new objective. You find out that there is an ancient Forerunner artifact underneath Sword Base, and the data pad that Kat had stolen earlier in the game contained notes on how to decrypt information from it that could be vital to the war. You were given a fragment of Cortana after defending the area from the Covenant, and are tasked with delivering it to the Pillar of Autumn. Jun is ordered to take Dr. Halsey to safety. Meanwhile, Carter, Emil, and Noble 6 remain on Reach to deliver a fragment of Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn before it takes off. Carter is wounded and flies the Pelican, dropping off Noble 6 and Emil to deliver Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn. On your way, you encounter a Scarab, and Carter sacrifices himself, crashing the Pelican into it. You and Emil fight the Covenant forces, and Emil takes control of a small mat cannon. Meanwhile, you deliver Cortana to Captain Keyes. And at that time, Emil is killed by elite soldiers, so you make your way to the small mat cannon, helping the Pillar of Autumn escape, while you destroy incoming Covenant ships. The Pillar of Autumn escapes, and you are left alone with one objective: survive. You don't. The Pillar of Autumn makes a slip space jump and arrives at the Halo, beginning the events of Halo Combat Evolved. The end. Subscribe for more Halo content.